speak with you, and tough to follow Jim, but he has been an inspiration for me. He is a great friend, and I've learned a lot from him and his leadership along the way. So what I'm here to talk to you about is, most of you have observed, if you've been around a little bit, that I have some difficulty walking, some challenges with mobility. And so what I want to do is talk to you a little bit about my journey, what I've learned from it, and more importantly, how I believe it can help all of you. So 12 years ago, I was very active. I was playing tennis, basketball, not very good, running, cycling, skiing, all these activities in an active life while being a father. And all of a sudden I realized slowly but surely I was tripping and falling and not able to get to the ball and not able to make that ski cut in the snow. It was a little troubling to me. I thought maybe a bad hip or a knee or something. I'm getting older, 38. So I went to the doctors and went through lots of tests, and I finally got referred to a top world-renowned neurologist. And after a lot of tests and a lot of doctor's visits, I found out I was diagnosed with a rare genetic neurological disease called adrenomyeloneuropathy. Now, that's a mouthful. But if you've seen the movie Lorenzo's Oil, which I don't recommend, it's very depressing, by Nick Nolte, that's what I have. And so I am a competitive person. I'm a salesperson by nature. So the neurologist tells me this, and I said, well, tell me what the trajectory is in this. And he said, well, this disease robs you of your mobility, and you will be in a wheelchair. And I said, okay, when? And he said, well, I can't tell you that. And I said, well, I'm a salesperson. I need to know when I'm going to be in this wheelchair. And he said, probably by the time you're 50, based on the trajectory. So 51, I'm doing pretty good. So I immediately went to the doctor and I said, what can I do to stop this progression? And he said to me, look, all I can tell you is stay active, stay fit, and try to stay in shape. So I went on a tear. And, that was my mantra, was to stay active. But I had a decision, much like all of us have a decision when a challenge comes our way. The more important decision I had to make was I could focus on my limitations, what I can't do, and the doubts that were creeping into my mind. Or I could shift to what I was capable of and what I could do versus what I couldn't do. So, in many ways, this disease has taught me a lot about myself. And I will tell you this today, that I'm better off for it than I would without. It's been a blessing in many ways because it's made me much more resilient along the way. And I've learned some lessons. And the first is a picture of my family. So we're in Spain. What that reminds me of is the fact that I had to adapt, adjust, and move on, because we did a ton of walking. I'm not very good at that. So we had to get Segways, we had to get motorbikes, and we had to change the way we, went through Spain. And I've learned this motto, adapt, adjust, and move on, and it's really helped and served me well. So I'll tell you a story. I had to make an adaptation. The doctor said, you got to get braces on your legs. I said, Doc, I run a financial service organization. I'm very active. I got 4 kids. I can't wear braces. He says, Tim, you got to wear braces. So I'm telling you today, I have 2 braces on my legs, 1 for each. And I have to tell you, I struggled with the idea of putting braces on my leg. And my good friend, Andy Goldman, who's up here, he was in my office, and, only a good friend, you can tell things to. And I said, Andy, I'm struggling with this. I don't know about putting these braces on because it's a sign of weakness. And I don't like it. I don't like that feeling of people looking and going, he's different. Why is he wearing braces? What's wrong with him? Why am I not like other people? But sometimes a good friend can tell you what you need to hear at the right time. And Andy, to your credit, Andy encouraged me, and he said, no, you're looking at it wrong. This is a sign of strength. This is a sign of confidence. This is going to help you in your mobility. It's going to help you be better at what you do. And I said, yeah. What about golf, Andy? I can't play golf with shorts, with braces. They look really funny. And he says, don't wear them. Wear long pants. I never wear shorts. I keep long pants. So to his credit, he suggests I wear long pants, and I've been playing golf ever since. So thank you, Andy. So my point of sharing this story and my journey is, what's stopping all of you? You have challenges. You have things that you're feeding through your mind, like I did, that may cause you to have limiting beliefs. And the question is, could you plant the right seeds of success and positivity into your brain? So I read this book, and it's a timeless read. If you haven't read it, I'd highly recommend it. And it really changed my thinking in a lot of ways. I reread it. I read it 26 years ago when I was a new advisor, and I reread it today. And it's called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, if you can't hear that. Can you hear me back there all right? And it is simply put, we become what we think about. So we can think about positive, optimistic, goal-oriented things that are exciting, or we can just as simple think about doubt and concerns and fear, right? You become what you think about. It's the strangest secret, but I've learned it firsthand with my condition. What I've learned is our mind is like soil. So if a farmer goes out and plants seeds in their farm, they could plant corn or deadly nightshade that's poisonous. If they plant it in the soil and fertilize it and water it, what will happen? Both will grow. The soil doesn't care what it plants in it. Both will grow. Our minds are much more powerful than that. And what we plant in our minds, our subconscious minds, will grow. So if we have the desire to be successful, then we plant the right seeds. If we are doubting Thomases or negative people, we will plant negative seeds. And guess what? You ever wonder how, I always wondered how successful people, we got a lot of them here, like Brian, Jim, Anthony, I'm talking, preaching to the choir, and you always wonder how some of these advisors, how do they become so successful? Yes, they just got lucky. No. They made a decision, and they planted the right seeds, and they constantly nurture and fertilize them, and they are successful for a reason. So what seeds are you planting in your garden? So I've learned 3 methods that have helped me, and I hope they will help you to plant the right seeds. And what I would tell you is these methods work if you execute on them. And the first is shifting focus. My belief is that every one of us will face a challenge if you haven't already. And when that challenge comes, the question is, do you focus on the challenge, or do you shift and focus on the opportunity? And how do you keep your mind off of the challenge? So I'll tell you a quick story. I learned this story from Rich Campy, my coach. And that is, when they train new auto drivers, race car drivers, they bring the race car drivers out and they have this spin button. And the trainer the coach is on the other side of the car, and he pushes the button. And it lifts the tire just a little bit. and then the car spins out of control. What do you think a new driver focuses on, the wall or the open road? The wall. And then he pushes his head to the open road and has him focus on the open road. Because of that, they don't crash. If they focus on the wall, they'll crash. So what are you focused on? And I believe that when we in this business, the new people in this room know this is a challenging business mentally. And when you hit a challenge, and you will, trust me, I did. How can you shift your focus? I will tell you that personally, what I did is, when I had my health challenge, I focused on, number one, I'm going to stay mobile. Number two, I'm going to stay in shape. I am going to stay as fit as I can. I'm going to follow his instructions, stay as active as I possibly can. Number three, I was not going to let this impact my family life. I'm going to travel with my family. I'm going to do everything. I may have to improvise a little bit here and there, but I'm going to do everything with my family I possibly can. And I am not going to let it impact my work, because I love what I do. I get up, I've been on vacation for 24 of my last 26 years, and you all make it fun to come to work. So I shifted my focus. What can you shift your focus? The second is questions. Questions we ask will determine our success or failure as well. And it's another technique that I've learned and heard from a lot of people that ask the right questions versus the wrong questions. So what are the wrong questions? We'll start there. For some of the new guys, I'm not sure about this business. I don't know if I'm right for this business. I'm not sure if I should be here. Or, I don't think I should be calling my natural market. Or, I'm not sure I didn't have a good year. I'm not sure I'm going to have a good year. And I wonder why am I not like Anthony Lobrano? Why am I not like so-and-so? So those are the wrong questions versus the right questions. So the right questions could be, how can I be a great father? What have I done the last 24 hours to be a great father, a great husband? What can I do to be a better leader, a better salesperson? What have I done to be a better salesperson in the last day? So think about the questions you're asking, because that'll help program your mind. So the last thing is physiology. I'm going to ask you to help me out here for a second. Will you be willing to play all out just for a moment? All right? Okay, so physiology makes a difference. And some of your physiology, I can tell where you are. But the physiology is a key driver. So I want you to, just for a moment, play along with me. Sit in your chairs. I want you to act as if you are totally uninterested. You're bored, and frankly, you're unmotivated and really feeling down. Just adjust your body. Just help me out a little bit. There you go. Andy's helping. He's starting to think. Adjust your body. Kind of roll your shoulders in, your head. Just feel like you're feeling right now, just like this business really stinks. I am hating this. Now, George, his physiology is a lot. I can see his physiology. He's right here in his hand. I'm not sure that's good. So, all right. So with me for a second. Play along with me for just a second. And in a moment, I'm going to count to 3. I'm going to just ask you to stand up with me. So I want you to shift your focus and think about this. Just picture this in your mind. You just crushed your business goals. You had your best finish to the year you've ever had. You've crushed your personal goals. It was an incredible year, and you're on vacation with your family. You're celebrating it on some island, and you're having a ball. The kids are laughing. Your wife's laughing. She thinks you're awesome. Her husband, she thinks you're the best, and you're celebrating. So on the count of 3, I'm going to count to 3, and I'm going to ask you to stand up and tell me give me a shout or something. 1, 2, 3. Come on. Yeah. All right. So I had to get you out of your seats. So all right, you can sit down now. Thank you. So tell me the difference here. Just in a few moments, what happened? Tell me the difference. What happened? Huh? Mindset, right? What else? Physiology, right? You change your physiology in that quick of a moment. You went from maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, you're a 2, till you became a 10, right? Everybody, were you feeling like a 10? Your physiology is your remote control for your brain. So next time you walk into that next sales meeting, put your shoulders back, walk in and say, I've got this. I've tried this with my kids. My kids think I'm crazy, but they go into a big game. I go, come on, you're going to crush it. Let's get in a peak state of mind. So think about how you can get in the peak state of mind. So this slide is one of my favorite pictures. And if you can't read in the back, I'll start at the top. When your will to win is greater than your fear and doubt, you're unstoppable. It's when it reverses that things become a problem, right? Now, I will tell you that I fight with fear and doubt all the time, every day, and I bet you all of you do to some degree too. Whether it's fear of picking up that phone and calling that big prospect, or asking for the order, or asking for referrals, or just getting motivated and getting out of bed to conquer the day. But if your will to win is greater than your fear and doubt, that is where we win. This quote is great though. This guy here has no legs. He's hand cyclist. We have little power to choose what happens, but we have complete power over how we respond. What's stopping you from success? We can't control what's out of our power. I certainly can, and none of you. The question is, how will we respond? So I've heard this session, I think it was John Craner who told me this, George, a while ago, a legend with George, and he said, goals are the key, but habits are the hands that turn the key. And I thought, that really sounds good, but I didn't really know what that meant until I lived it. So I was a DSF, and I was a C-class associate in Dallas, Texas. I'd just come off a very good year. I was NLC, NLF, which is about 41,000 at the time. And so I had big aspirations, much like all of you, and I had a big goal. I had two things I wanted to do. I wanted to do 75,000, which was called Legion of Honor. Now it's not even NLC. Legion of Honor, that was a big trophy. And I was going to have lunch with George Carr. That was my visualization. Now, I didn't even know George, I just knew of him. But my lunch with George Carr was to tell him that I was moving from Dallas, Texas to Philadelphia. So I had this idea, I was like, wow, I can only see George Carr. He's a legend if I have 75,000 PCs. Got to do it. So I came out of the gates. January didn't go well. February was not good. August, I had 21,000 PCs in August. So I am like, oh my God, I'm beside myself. I can't have George. I don't want to think about having lunch with George Carr with 21,000 PCs. So I said to myself, I got to do something. So this guy came in, Anthony Gailey, if those of you know, is a hypnotist and goal motivational guy, and he came in and $350 for a seminar. I got like, oh, what do I got to lose? So I went to this seminar, and what he did is he asked me to tape my goals, and it was crazy. You had to write down your key goals for the year, for the next 3 and 5 years. But then the key part came in. You had to write down what your daily habits would be to help you accomplish your goals. So I said, all right, I'm going to stretch it. I'm going to set 3 appointments a day. I never set 3 appointments a day. I'm going to get 3 referrals a day. I certainly wasn't getting 3 referrals. I'm going to call 3 clients every day. I'm going to get in the office at 7:30. I'm going to have my to-do list the night before. I'm going to work out every day. I'm going to read something positive, and I drink a lot of water. I had 10 things I had to do. Here's where the weird part came in. So then he made me tape the goals. All right, cassette tape, if you don't know what that is. It's to Baroque music. So I'm in this room with all my colleagues that paid the $350. I'm like, this is a waste of money. And I'm going, Tim, you will earn, now I said 75 is out of the question. There's no way I'll earn this. So I said, you earn 60,000 PCs as you happily set 3 appointments a day. So I listened to this Baroque music. So every day I popped this cassette tape in my car. And every day I listened to it. And it was goofy as can be. Listen to yourself to Baroque music. It was like, are you kidding me? And then all of a sudden in September, I did 10,000 PCs. It was about half of what I did the whole year. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep listening to this tape. And in October, I did 12. I'm like, this tape is working. I was listening 3 or 4 times a day. I couldn't wait. It was almost worn out. In November, I did 13 or 14,000. And at the end of the year, I did 82,000 PCs. And I had lunch with George Carr And I'm here because of that man right here. And he was my visualization that made it happen. So what's my point here? What habits can you change? Tweak a little bit. Maybe it's working out. Like Jim Mellon told me, why work out 5 days a week when you work out 7? I'm like, and he's right. I work out 7 days a week. So it feels good. Thank you, Jim, for that inspiration, George. I know he inspired you too. So George is going to work out 7 days a week, I think, too. So what habits can you change as you go? So last couple things I want to share with you is sweet spots. And this was an amazing breakthrough for me in sweet spots. So things that you're passionate about, you're purposeful about, and that are profitable. Okay? So let me give you an example. I am really passionate about singing. I would love to sing. But when I sing in church, my kids say, Dad, keep it down a little bit. They actually take the hymn book away from me in church because they don't want me to sing. Now, I'm passionate about it, but I'm not purposeful. I'm not very good at it. Purposeful meaning good at it. So the other thing is, so passion is key. It's something you can be passionate about, but purposeful is something that you're really good at. So think about something that you're exceptional about doing. And we went through this. Jim Mellon and I went to Strategic Coach, and we learned the unique ability. What is your unique ability? What do you really excel at? And what can you, if you could do it all day, you're just really good at. So I will tell you, I'm pretty good with numbers. You give me a spreadsheet, I can look at numbers. I'm not passionate about it, though. I might be good with numbers, but Marty Metacarver is much better at numbers, and she's passionate about doing it. So I rely on her, my CFO, to do those numbers. And the last is profitable. So the intersection is called the zone of brilliance. So what are the 3 activities in your daily life that if you did those all the time, you'd be excited to come to work, that you're really good at it, and it drives profits, okay? And so I'm going to show you our teams. This is our senior leadership team, and we call it the 10-second rule. So Rich Campy has a coaching session with us every week, and that coaching session in the beginning was kind of, Dave Carr and I, when we first did it, we're like, this is kind of annoying. But when Dave and I first did it, we realized how important it was, and that is, did I win the week? So Lois, every Friday at 4 o'clock, on the nose, comes into my office, and we review the calendar. And we look at 4 activities: recruiting activity, leadership development, and advisor coaching. The last one is personal production. So those are I've got to hit those sweet spots. And now I'm double all them, because I'm like, I've got it to a point where my team knows what my sweet spots are. And I'm sorry, Michelle, if she's here, compliance isn't one of my sweet spots. I have to do it. I'm not passionate about it. I'm not good at it. But I guess it's purposeful. I mean, I'm definitely profitable. But these are my sweet spots. Kim has hers, Mike, Chris, Robert, and Dave. So we review our sweet spots week in, week out. What are your sweet spots? And could you have a huddle with your team and say, hey, did you win the week? So it could be a certain number of client reviews and opening meetings and referrals gathered, or whatever your sweet spots are. Think about what would get you excited and have an accountability partner to help you get there. So the last thing is this great picture. I love this picture, George. Look young and spry there with Bob. And I think back, and Bob and George have been great mentors to me. And I worked more with Bob because he was in management, and you had just retired. And Bob, he helped me in so many ways think big. But we had extraordinary leaders that founded this organization 50 years ago. They had a huge vision. They had big goals. And they're always thinking about a bigger future. Think about what this organization represents. George, we've touched hundreds of thousands of lives, impacted, made a difference in hundreds of thousands of lives. And this year, presently, that's the past. And they were extraordinary role models, and they still are. We are number 1 in all vaccines. With a little help from all of you, we'll stay number 1. Texas is on our tail. I know it's a whole state, but they're 400,000, within 400,000 And Chris Noonan reminds me that he's catching every time he talks to Dave and I, right? So I'm hoping some bigger cases will come in at the end. But all of you can make a difference in staying at number one. So what's our bigger future? You know, as an organization, our goal, our leadership goal, is to stay at number one, be the preeminent leader in our industry, but to win the Gold President's Trophy. Now you might say, what is that and why do I care? Let me tell you, it's a major, major deal for a large organization to do that. It was done last by George and Bob in 1983 or so, and that's the last time it's been done. And our goal is to get that done by 2020. Now, what does that mean? It really means we have to recruit the best talent we can. It means that our New York club people count has to grow. It means that we have to grow the best leaders. We have to be more productive, our development has to grow, and our sales have to continue to grow. Now we're up 14%, that's a great start. But there's a lot of opportunity for improvement. This year, we want to finish at the top 10 and number one in production. And hopefully George is going to join us up on stage come soon. So what's your bigger future? What are you excited about? What legacy do you want to leave? And what's stopping you? Let's together program our minds for success and have an unbelievable future together. I'm excited to be with you on that journey. I hope this was helpful. I hope you got something from it. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your support and friendship.